Hey, my sweet babies. So, it took me a minute to say what I'm getting ready to say because I want to make sure I'm not saying it in judgment, and I want to make sure I'm saying it from a place of love. Y'all, some of y'all have given me the title of auntie, and I'm honored that y'all do that, right? But there are times where auntie, God, when we got to the airport yesterday, I was excited, like, all right, baby, let's go get him in Jackson, Mississippi. And as we began to walk through the airport, I saw so many, actually too many to count and too many for me to tap. But I saw so many of our young sisters in head bonnets, scarves, slippers, pajamas, blankets wrapped around them, and this is how they're showing up to the airport.
We have now interrupted your regularly scheduled programming to bring you.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Warheads. I am Apocalypto Joe.
And I'm Roscoe Brown.
And we are here once again to go in on these targets. But before we do, we also want to ask our viewing audience to please like, comment, subscribe, and more importantly, hit that bell notification. We are trying to get to 100 subscriptions by the end of June. So if you could, please help us out. With that being said, on to the topic at hand. Monique is in the news this week because she has stirred the hornet's nest by going in on the sisters. You know, there is a trend going on around the country. It's been going on for quite a long time with melanated sisters going to the store, going to the airport, you name it, with bonnets on and sleepy time clothes, pajamas, if you will. And I wanted to pose the question to you, Roscoe. Yeah. Do you think that Monique is out of line for airing our dirty laundry? You know, a lot of times we get a bad rep for airing out our laundry that should be stay in-house. But it's kind of difficult to keep bonnets and sleepy time clothes out in public under the rug when everybody can see it. You know, I know she's got some pushback from Tammy Roman and others, but do you think Monique should have kept her mouth shut and minded her business? Or do you think this is an appropriate conversation to be had?
I do think that this is an appropriate conversation. I don't see anything wrong with Monique airing this particular issue out. This is something that I think that we should have been discussing as a community, as a people, for quite a while. You know, it's something for me personally, when I see it, it's something that's problematic to me for a lot of reasons. A lot of the reasons that Monique stated originally when she brought this whole thing up. So, yeah, I do think that this is appropriate to bring up. I think we should be discussing it. And I think that we need to go over some of these things, some of the reasons why the perception of our women being out here like this is a bad thing.
So let me ask you this. Why do you think it's a bad thing for our women to be out like this?
All right. Monique, she brought up the one specific topic about pride and having pride in yourself when you step out. And that is something that I think is a thing. It's very important. Something that I didn't pay a lot of credence to when I was younger myself, because I think even some men can fall kind of susceptible to this and just not really giving or paying a whole lot of credence to the way that you look and the way that you present yourself to the world. But it does mean something. I think of the Raekwon song from back in the days. I forget the song, but he mentioned in one of the lines that your uniform does mean a lot. You know, and when he made mention of that, it's because of the fact that the world is watching. It says something about your person. It says something about the level of care that you have for yourself. You know what I mean? You go out and you present yourself these type of all kind of crazy ways, then people can quickly assume that you have little care for yourself. You know, so just that one thing in particular that Monique brought up, I think is very huge. You know, but what about you? What do you think?
Well, before I say anything, I wanted to ask you, like, does it matter such a, like, the women that do, well, I can't even say that it's only people from the hood, because a lot of professional women are doing this too. Because I was going to say, like, maybe it's a microcosm of the sisters that are doing this, but I think this stretches across all economic groups, classes within the Black community. As I think about it, it's not just the sisters that came up in impoverished neighborhoods. This is like a uniform that's been thrown out there, and I do have my thoughts about it. Yeah. But is it really that harmful? Because I think we have to ask the question, like, are they really bothering anybody? Like, yeah, the pride question comes up. But, I mean, are they really hurting anyone? I don't think they are. But how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say that I'm just stepping outside. I'm not hurting anybody. So why does anybody care about what I'm doing to me? You know, but again, we're talking about image, and people never think about the fact that our experiences in the world are bigger than us. And when I say something like that, what I mean is that a person can encounter you and have an encounter with you, and use that encounter to kind of generalize, you know, certain stigmas, certain phobias, certain what's the one word that I'm trying to think of?
Prejudices.
Right? Prejudices. There we go. But yeah, people will use these things to expound on those things. You know, so that's what when I say that our experiences, our encounters are bigger than us, that's what I mean. So when you see one person and two people and three people who kind of have this image, then it tends to kind of, now you in your head you're thinking like, is this all of them? You know what I mean? So is that the right way? Is that right? No, but it's something that happens.
But isn't that the problem of the person who has the prejudice?
We can easily say that, but this is the thing that I look at. There's no other woman, generally speaking, who's presenting themselves like this.
Right.
You know, so there's no other woman that's presenting themselves like this. And then I also think about the fact that our women are probably the most disrespected women out here. You know, things like this, I think, have some type of correlation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I also heard, this is one thing about it that I heard that there are men who are wearing bonnets. Now, I don't know if they're doing this in a tongue-in-cheek fashion in support, but this is what I'll say. I remember there was a time where our people did take pride in the way we dressed, how we looked in the public. The word Sunday's best comes to mind. A lot of times back in the day, people would put on their Sunday's best, and they weren't necessarily going to church. I know when me and you used to come up in Wentworth when we were kids, a lot of the men would just put on nice suits just because it was a Tuesday. You know, our people in particular, and maybe that's because we didn't have a whole lot, but we would show ourselves as having some pride in the way that we presented ourselves to the world. This system has done so much to take our dignity away from us. You would think that, well, you have to have a perspective on history. first and foremost, to understand that, like you were saying earlier, the uniform that we wear means something in the public. And so this is what I'll say about this. And I don't mean to be offensive, but if the truth hurts, you'll be in pain. If the truth drives you crazy, you'll be insane. So we do have people, sisters in particular, who go out in the, and I can't even put it on them because I saw a sister say, like, if we're going to address the bonnet issue, we got to address the issue of these young black men walking around with their booty hanging out from sagging. Because that's an issue. That's been an issue for a very long time, probably longer than the bonnets, truth be told.
But I did say earlier, that men could be susceptible to this kind of thinking too. So
yes, I agree. However, with the sisters, this is what I'll say. So first of all, this is sleep attire. Sleep attire should be worn in the house. And I don't know if a lot of sisters ever thought about this, but when you go out in public with your bonnet, your house shoes, your pajama pants, like there are so many chemicals in the air. Your house shoes should remain in the house. But when you go to the store with your house shoes on, you're stepping in bum piss, bum poop, probably some other stuff from the sewers, other chemicals that are on the ground, and the carbon monoxide in the air getting in your bonnet, and you're taking that right back home and laying in your bed with this same stuff. And so this should be taken into consideration. These are chemicals, they're toxins, they're pollutants, but more than that, we used to have a regal nature about us. But I think probably what's going on is a lot of the sisters, they put on so many fake nails, fake eyelashes, they get the hair weave, the garter belts. They have a whole uniform that they have to put together. They're $200, $300, $500 suits where they go out into the public. And I think what it is when you have to put on a production like that to get dressed. Back in the day, when you think about a regal beauty like Pam Grier, she never had all those extra accessories. She was truly a natural beauty. Maybe she did put on a little bit of blush if black women wear blush. I don't know much about makeup, but when you think about women like Pam Grier back in the day and Cleopatra Jones, they were in pretty much their natural state. They didn't have the production that goes into getting dressed. They relied more on natural beauty than anything else. And so I think we've moved away from that. And I think that's why it's just easier to roll out of bed and wear what you wore to sleep to the store, to the airport, because everything else is such a production. And if you're not out, because I would assume that when women are dressing up, they're doing that to get attention. The only reason you would dress up nice is to be like, ooh, you look good in that. Ooh, girl, that outfit is bad. Ooh, look at those shoes. When you're not dressed up, it's because you're not on the hunt. You're not in predator mode seeking that attention. Not that you can't get that attention, because I've heard sisters say, girl, this dude, I didn't have on that, and I didn't have my makeup or my hair did, and he still wanted my number. That's because our women are naturally beautiful. Right. But when you have a production of how you're used to looking, when you're going out to get those compliments, to stunt, as they say, on everyone else, then you don't want to take that time to do that every time you step out of the home. And so, like I said, I think of a time in years gone by where we just took pride in looking good every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
No, I agree with you in that final assessment, man. Like, I think it really kind of just truly breaks down to, we just got some lazy chicks out here who don't want to go through the whole production, if you will, as you stated, of putting themselves together like that. So yeah, no, I would have to assume that it's very time consuming. to
Yes.
try to put all this stuff together to make yourself up. So yeah, it would have to be laziness in the end.
Have to be. And so, I don't know, people like Ludacris, stop enabling
Oh my God.
stop enabling this behavior. You know, if anything, promote the more natural look. I used to love how the sisters, I think of Felicia Rashad and how she looked back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, Diane Carroll, they didn't have all this nonsense going on.
No, they were natural beauties, man.
They were natural beauties.
I'm glad that you brought up the guys, man. We gotta say something about the guys who have jumped on, you know, these social platforms and have supported these women with their bonnets. You know, I think that is totally ridiculous, dude.
Yes.
Totally ridiculous, you know. So I think every dude who has stepped out to kind of make a statement in support of the women who actually want to keep being lazy, that y'all dudes get a big L, all y'all.
So we're gonna chalk it up to being lazy.
Yo, I mean that's what it is in the end, but that laziness just leads to more issues, you know, when it's all said and done. So yeah, I think at the crux of it, you know, there's laziness, but then, you know, it just mushrooms into all these other negative things. So
yeah, I can give you some credit on the stereotype, because once again, the history of this country, we've already been dehumanized. I don't think we should have to dress a particular way to satiate the dominant society.
no.
But one thing I've always learned is you don't give your critics the ammunition to shoot you with. Just something to think about.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to add to this, bro?
Yeah, I just want to say that, you know, first of all, I agree with what you just said. I don't think that it's about like trying to please everybody else, excuse me, but just having that pride in self, I think is something that we should bring back. We should want to step out and look good, and and pull our pants up for the guys too. But yeah, women, y'all got to represent. We want to hold you guys up in the highest light possible, and it's hard to do that if you out here looking like bums.
Yeah, a natural beauty is still beautiful. We have to take that into consideration. I like it, but I know a lot of people don't care what I like, but I don't care that you don't care what I like. It'll save you money. It'll keep you out the poorhouse. And I don't know. It's just, this is a touchy subject because of how sensitive people are nowadays. People can't take any criticism. You criticize people nowadays, it's like you murdered their whole family. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
He talked about my eyelashes.
Yeah.
He talked about my hair wing. He talked about my bonnet. Let's cancel him. Oh, you can't cancel me.
No, try all you want, but you know, freedom of speech is a thing for a reason, and people should be able to express on their thoughts on things, whether you like those thoughts or not. You know,
Right.
so it just is what it is, man.
But at any rate, not just with this, but with all issues, we've got to do better. Self-reflect, you know, be a better person tomorrow than you were today. And that's all I have to say. Man, that boy is a poet. Anyway, you got anything to say going away, bro?
I just want to say, ladies, I see you. I see you. That's all I want to say.
Too funny. At any rate, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, support the Warheads. We're here for you. We're here for you. Come love us. We're trying to get to 100 subscriptions by the end of June. Help us reach our goal. Warheads out.